Imagine growing up your entire life without knowing who your mother is. No memories, no answers, just a question that follows you everywhere you go. Who is she? Why did she leave? And does she even think about you? For Graham Hornigold, this wasn't just a question. It was a lifelong mystery. Born in 1974 on a British military base in Germany, Graham's life began with uncertainty. He was separated from his mother at a very young age, growing up without any real connection to her. There were no birthday calls, no letters, no explanations, just silence. He was raised by his father and later spent time in foster care, moving through life with a missing piece he could never fill. But despite that difficult start, Graham didn't let his past define him. He built something for himself. He became a highly respected pastry chef, working in top kitchens and appearing on major television shows. From the outside, his life looked successful, stable, complete. But deep down, that question never really went away. The idea of his mother, the woman who brought him into this world and then disappeared, always stayed with him. Then, in 2020, everything changed. Out of nowhere, Graham received an email, a message from a woman claiming to be his mother. After decades of silence, she had finally found him. At first, it felt impossible. Anyone could send an email, anyone could lie. But this was different. The woman knew details about his birth, personal and specific details that almost no one else could know. Things that weren't public, things that felt real. Graham didn't immediately believe her. He asked questions, deep personal questions, and one by one, she answered them correctly. Every answer made it harder to doubt her. Every detail pulled him closer to the idea he had imagined his entire life. This wasn't just a stranger. This was his mother. When they finally met in person, the connection felt instant, emotional. Years of absence collapsing into a single moment. For Graham, this was something he had waited his entire life for. A chance to finally understand where he came from. But she wasn't just any mother. She presented herself as a woman of wealth and power. She spoke about a luxurious life, elite connections, and influence. She stayed in expensive hotels, spent money freely, and carried herself with confidence. To Graham, it all made sense. This explained everything. Why she had been gone, why she had never reached out. And for the first time, he felt like he belonged. But then everything started to change. She told him she was dying. She claimed to be seriously ill, with only months to live. Suddenly, this reunion became urgent. There was no time to question things, no time to doubt. Graham was faced with the idea that he had just found his mother and might lose her again. That's when the requests began. At first, they seemed small. She needed help covering expenses, temporary financial issues, problems accessing her money. Nothing unusual, especially for a son helping his mother. But the requests didn't stop. They grew bigger, more frequent, more urgent. She convinced him to pay for expensive hotel stays, to cover large bills, always promising that he would get everything back, that he would inherit her wealth, that this was temporary. And Graham believed her, not because he was naive, but because he was human, because after a lifetime of not having a mother, he finally had one, and he didn't want to lose that. Slowly, the situation began to spiral. He took loans, used credit, sent money again and again, each time believing it would all be okay. But something wasn't right. The story started to feel inconsistent. The promises never came true. And the more he gave, the more she asked. It wasn't until his partner began questioning everything that the truth started to appear. She investigated. She looked deeper. And what she found was disturbing. There were other victims, other identities, a pattern of deception. Then came the final moment, a DNA test. The result changed everything. She wasn't lying about one thing. She really was his mother, which made the betrayal even worse. This wasn't a stranger pretending to be family. This was family exploiting the deepest emotional bond possible. By the time the truth was clear, it was too late. Graham had lost around £300,000, but the money wasn't the only thing he lost. He lost trust, he lost stability, and he lost the idea of what a mother should be. The woman he had spent his entire life wondering about didn't come back to give him answers. She came back to take advantage of him, and then, just like before, she disappeared again. Because sometimes the most dangerous lies don't come from strangers. They come from the people we want to believe the most.